Hello everyone, this is Vistra with Paper Seasoning, and today I want to show you how to make these little needle books. They are really cute and really fun to make, and you can use your scrap pieces. You can use some like shirts or recycled pieces from clothing that you have from around the house, because this doesn't take very much. Now these are the measurements that I have. And now let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to put these to the side here. And the first thing we want to do, now you're going to need some Ultra Bond. I use the light, and I don't need but a few pieces, a little, because you might have some in your sewing stash. So the first thing we're going to do is get the book pieces and the spine. And I was able to get this little flower, and I want this as my front cover. So I'm going to stitch this on to here, and then I'm going to stitch this on the back. So let's get that done. Make sure it's even. I don't know where my sewing snips are. I need those. And that's the front part of my book. Now let's get this back piece. There, and now we are going to press. And I like to press towards the darker side of the fabric. That's majority the rule, to kind of press towards the darker side. But on my spine here, I like to press, just go ahead and press them in to the spine. And then I have some like throwaways, little fabric strings. Just get that off of there. And there, now you can see it's already coming together. And now what you want to do is we can go ahead and decorate it. Now I want this kind of at the bottom. I tried to fussy cut this piece because I really wanted this rose up front. And I'm thinking that I want to put a little piece here on the bottom and do some stitching there. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to get my pinking shears and kind of measure it off. It doesn't have to be even, since that end is already done. I'm going to kind of go around this. I just want a nice little square piece, well, rectangle. And I'm thinking to put this here. I think that would be cute right there. Maybe up a little bit, so when I stitch around that it's not in the way. So let's go with putting it probably, I think right there. We'll be safe right there. I think we'll be safe with it right there. So let's get this piece on. That piece will fit. I'm going to iron that heat and bond on there. let it cool a little bit. And there, voila. You know, I am going to wait. I think I can wait and put this on. Yeah, I'm going to just wait before I put that on because I think I can do it without messing up the back piece. So if I can, I'm just going to do that. And let's move on to the next step in our book. Okay, now we are going to take our back piece and place it on top of there like so. Now, if you were going to decorate this, let me explain this part. Okay, so if you was going to put this on there, and I wanted to show you, you can use like this little piece here. You could cut this out and use that, and this is what I used. And see, it's just a little small print, and I just cut out a little piece and put some heat and bond underneath and did a zigzag stitch around that. Now this one, you could cut this out, and these girls are really cute. You could cut it out and put it on there, but since it doesn't match my design today, I will not be using those. But I just wanted to show you all the different things that you could do. And if you have, like your husband has a t-shirt, or a cotton shirt or woven shirt, then you can actually cut a little piece out of that and place on there anything that has a small design or something that you want to use to embellish. Or like I'm doing today, mine does not have a design, but I will put buttons on this. So now let's see, we have our back piece, in which I want to do show you that the back piece is not 8 1/2, it's actually 4 3/4 by 8 3/4. So if you're going by my measurements, change your back piece to 8 3/4. I thought that I had got off last time, but I did not get this measurement off. So this is the correct measurement as what I had previously. Now I am going to place those two pieces together, grab up my batting, and place this on top. Now I am going to pin it in place. And since I want to put that on the bottom there, I'm going to leave an opening on this side so that I can put that little brown piece on the bottom. And that is like a linen type of piece. And if you ever go to like the thrift stores and you see that you can get some hand embroidery napkins or pieces, those would be great for, you know, the cover. You can cut out the little embroidery design and use those for your front cover. Now I'm going to get my Frixion pen and mark where I want to leave that opening. And we are just going to start at this mark and stitch around at 1/4 inch. And when I get back around to my little mark, I'm going to stop and back stitch it. There. Now I normally would put my marking on the back side. So if you're doing yours, maybe think about putting it on the back so that it doesn't show a little wonkiness in the front when you're closing it up. Now let's move this out the way and focus more on this. Take my pins out. And I'm going to cut really close to the edge here. And on my corners, I'm just going to snip just like that. Cut it in like this. Do not cut your stitches. And just easily just cut down the sides. Cross cut your corners. Now, when it comes to your opening, I like to stop and see, you can see the little dot there, that's my opening. I like to stop about a 1/2 inch before I get there and just go out. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same. Now on my batting, I'm just going to turn it and I'm just going to snip that off so that it will not be in my way later. And that way it'll leave just this piece up. And so you can see that. That's how I'm doing that. Okay, let's get rid of this now. And let's turn our piece to the other side. Make sure, what I like to do is grab those corners first and push those out. Go into the farthest corner and try to grab that one out. Okay, and I'm going to try to get this one to poke out. There. I got it. Got it. And that one. This one. And see, look at how cute. It is a cute little needle book. It looks all wonky, but we have to iron it. So this is what I like to do when I'm ironing my piece. I kind of like to roll it over so I can get that seam down really well, and just like so, just roll it over to get that seam, and you could barely touch it. And then now I will go over it really nicely with the iron. Do a really good job at pressing. And when it comes to your opening, now let me show you. What I will do is fold these in and make it blend in as if it's the seam. So it has to kind of fold to make it look like it's just sewn already. And so I will try to get that as straight as possible so I can press over it. And so it will hold, because I'm going to hand stitch that part. Now, And how cute. Look at that. That is so cute. Isn't that cute already? Okay, so now what we're going to do is do a whip stitch to close that up. But before I do that, remember I wanted to put this on, and so I'm going to go ahead and iron this piece on. And it already has my heat and bond underneath. There. And let me move this because I think I'm done with that. And also, before I close it up, what I want to do is kind of get a few buttons. Oh, one trying to run away. Get a few buttons and put on this part here. That was my idea. Let's see if I could find one of the blue ones that looks really cute. Let's see. Maybe that's how it should look. I think that's how I'm gonna put it on. And this is where I have taken some embroidery thread and hooped in. Now I used 2 strands on here and I doubled it. So what I'm going to do is, since this is where I want my buttons to go, I'm going to just go in underneath here and start it out. And that's why I left this opening right here, so that I could stitch these buttons on. And I think on this one I'm going to do an X. On this first one. I might do an X on all of them. So let me just stitch this in place. So as you can see, I'm just going to stitch this button in place here. And there. Now I can tie it off, but I wanted to add another little step. I'm thinking that I want to go ahead and make a cute little hand stitching around there. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, now that we are back around to the other side, I am just going to go in and try to tie this off here on the inside. Into the batting. There. That way, that's where it stays. Okay, so now I have this little needle thread. This little needle, it took me a while and I couldn't do it on camera, but I got it done. And I'm going to move that to the side for a minute because I want to try to repress this to make sure that it stays in place. So I'm going to just kind of get that repressed down. Just making sure that it stays in place. And then let me get my needle. I can move my little ironing pad. And if you want to know about that ironing pad, I did do a tutorial on making that ironing pad. So I'm going to just go in about a 1/2 inch back, put my knot on the inside there, and go from that side and just kind of stitch it closed like that. I'm trying to do this on camera, and the angle that I'm holding it in is not a good angle, but hopefully we can get through this. Okay, now that I have that done, and see how cute that looks? That looks really cute already. Now we need to get our, let me put these back in to the jar. And I did a video on making this cute little pincushion jar. So if you would like to go back and take a look at that. Let's see. My next step is this. Now, what you want to do is fold your felt to see where is your center. Okay? And I'm going to mark my center is here and here. So now I have my center marked. And I want to put this piece of lace on this side. It's a little bit longer, which is fine. So I'm going to stitch that on this side. About right there would be great. Let me pin it. And it's a little bit longer than what I want, which is great. Always have it slightly longer than what you want. Now on this side, I'm thinking to put this on here. And I want to do a little banner with a little button. So I will stitch in a button first. So now, let's see. Let me tie a knot off on that so that I can stitch this button on. And I think I'm just going to use this little button. So I'm just going to take a little piece of fabric and go ahead and just do an X stitch on it for my button. Now I am going to cut off this piece like that and use this as a little banner. So it will go underneath there like that. And I'm going to cut this off at, I want to probably cut it off about right at that chair, maybe a little bit over the chair, so that I can have a little bit more room just in case. And that looks good. That looks really cute. And I'm going to take my little piece of jeans that I cut from my daughter's clothing, and I am going to cut this on this side and just trimming it up a little bit. It's not going to be even. I don't mind it's not being even. And let's see, if I place that there, then place this little piece right there and put that on top. That is so cute. I love that. That looks really cute. I like it. Okay, so that is how I will stitch that on right there. Okay, now I'm at my sewing machine ready to stitch this on, and I'm going to go up a little bit over that part, the beginning, and start my stitching. Do a little back stitch. Try to hold everything in place. Hopefully it won't move on me. And I just want to stitch just past that little piece there. This little piece. Now, what I would do is just cut this off on the end like that. And I don't have to cut that end off. It's fine. So now I'm going to do the same to this end, except I'm going to start kind of in the middle on this one. Oh. Let's move the sewing machine out the way for a bit. And I'm going to kind of like trim these little ends off of that lace. There. Now, in order to decorate it, I am going to go back and get my embroidery needle. And I still have a little bit of thread on there. So I am going to kind of get inside of here and come out with that. Try to get my knot underneath there. And I'm going to put on a little button on this end. Now that we have that complete and we have our felt and we see this is the markings that I've made for the center there and on the bottom. Now I got to determine the center of my book. Fold that over and do a press. Let me make sure it's on the edge. Okay, there. Now I press this to get my center. Now that I've determined where my center, I am going to get my Frixion pen and mark it. Okay, and place this on the inside and make my marks. You can see that I make my marks line up. So it's lined up there, and then my marks are lined up at the bottom there. And make sure that you have it correct on there, that it's not upside down. I'm going to move this to the side. That has happened to me. I have stitched it and it's upside down and I had to take it apart. Okay, now we are going to stitch down this line here. Which I should have went ahead and made that line. I'm going to show you right here how I make that line. I just get my Frixion pen and mark so that I have a guide to go by. Once again, do a little line up. I start on that felt fabric. Let me get my thread so it doesn't, I don't lose it. Okay. And then I go all the way back and come forward. Snip that and that. Snip that one off. Isn't that cute? That is too adorable. Okay, now I'm going to show you one more step because we're almost done. See how cute that is? It's such a cute little needlebook. But in order to do one more step here, it looks great the way it is, but let's take it to another step. On your spine, I have taken another little piece of that embroidery skin, and I have just taken one piece and doubled it. And I am going to go in here. I want my needle to show, really. I really want, no, I said my needle. I want my thread to show. Let me get this. And what I'm going to do is stitch down here and stitch down this way. Okay, now that I have finished doing my stitching, and if you can see the little hand stitching, the little accent, it really brings it out. Now I am going to try to press over it a little bit, give it a little sharper look. Try not to press over my buttons, don't want those to melt. And I have to press to get my markings off with that Frixion pen. So just do a little light pressing up in there to get that off. Clean it up. And time to add. So I have some safety pins and they go here. Put those in. Oh, this is a larger one. So we'll just put those safety pins in right there. And my needles. Which this is one that I used earlier. The little tiny sewing needle. And I'll just wrap this thread around so that I can keep it and use it for the next time. Okay, and I have this larger needle. We'll put that in there. And another larger needle, even larger needle. There. So those will go there. And put my stick pins in the lace here. On your ends, you can pink the ends of your felt. I did, and you can leave room. Like this one looks a little bit crooked to me. I kind of want to cut it to even it out. I might be okay. Yeah, I'm going to cut it to even it out because I don't like that. I thought I was done. Now I need to cut this one down a little bit as well, and hopefully you can do it in one swoop. There. Okay, now it's done. I had to use my pinky shears to kind of even the book out. Okay, now these are all the creations that I have made with using this needlebook tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. Now, again, don't forget, if you're making this, to change that measurement on the last piece to 8 3/4 instead of 8 1/2. And this should work, as you can see. And if you make one, please tag me on Instagram at paper_seasoning, or let me know in the comment section where you are. Till next time, bye bye.